What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you tuning in. I hope you hit the subscribe button. Check out plenty of the content that I have. For everybody else, welcome back. We're going to be talking about today what it's like when you get arrested and you're on your way to jail, when you're on your way to the police station and then eventually jail. We're going to talk about what that feels like, what the process is like. And for those of you that have never watched my channel, let me tell you how it's firsthand experience. This is not something I'm bragging about, not something I'm boasting about. Truthfully, I'd be a little embarrassed about my history, but it is what it is, and it's firsthand experience. I spent 17 years in the New York prison system, most of those years in the maximum security system like Attica and Sing Sing, and I was arrested and placed in jail over 7, 8, 9 times in my life for various crimes. I was a troubled kid and troubled young adult. Uh, I committed 100 burglaries, robberies, robbed factories, dealt drugs, ran around with the wise guys. I mean, I had a very destructive life. I had a saying that said, dares, thrills, stupidity, high pain tolerance, intense aggression, whatever it was, I lived my life with it. Over the years, it brought me unbearable pain and unimaginable joy. It was an exciting life, but it definitely wasn't worth it. I suggest that everyone refrain from it. I still suffer the consequences from living that type of life. I've been home 12 years now. I do not do drugs. I do not drink alcohol. I've raised 3 beautiful stepchildren. I have a home. I started a business. I'm married. I live a normal life. I may not be normal, but I live a pretty normal life. I went from Attica prison to gardening. Go figure. But let's talk about what it's like and things you should do when you get arrested. When that officer puts the handcuffs on you, and you are in the police car and you are going to the police station to be booked, as they say from the old show that many of you don't remember probably, book 'em, Dano. That's it. You're getting arrested and you're going to jail. You are not talking your way out of this. You're not telling the officer, please let me go. I won't do it again. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. None of that is working. You have to understand that once the officer puts the cuffs on you, you're going to jail. Okay. And you will be read your rights. And when you read your rights, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Do you understand these rights I've just explained to you? My advice to you right there is remain silent. I have other videos on the right to remain silent. But when I tell you remain silent, remain silent. Don't say anything. I can't stress this enough to you. Officers try to ask you trick questions. They try to be your friend. They try to offer you a cigarette. They try to do this just to get you to talk. Listen, I know you didn't mean to do it, but did you see what? Don't talk, nothing. Just say, I invoke my right to remain silent under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. I have the right to remain silent. I choose to invoke that right now. Don't be disrespectful. Just stay quiet through the whole process. Stay quiet. We can get back to that another time. I just can't stress it enough, right? And that means don't answer any questions. You don't even say like, I couldn't have done it because I was home sleeping. That's a statement. You're making a statement. When you say, I couldn't have done it, I was home sleeping, anything you say will be used against you. That statement, I couldn't have done it, I was home sleeping, could be used against you. Because if they can prove that you weren't home sleeping, right now you gave a false statement to the police. Don't say anything, man. I can't get deeper into that at another time. But now you're in the car and you're on your way to jail. The main thing that I tell you is this: remain respectful. You're busted. You're caught. You've been pinched. Remain respectful. It's a psychology, right? Because the officer is not letting you go no matter what. You're on your way. So, as the saying goes, you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. If you're going to curse the officer out, yo, F you, F your mother, I didn't do nothing, da da da, all that officer is going to do is deny you the things that you are supposed to get, or take his sweet time in giving you anything. And believe me, you're going to need things, right? Because you are in a very vulnerable position right now, right? You are not in control. I know a lot of people think that they're in control or think that they're going to control the situation, right? You can watch all these videos, how ridiculous they are. I'm not going to jail. You ain't taking me to jail. And then they're cuffed and in the car and away. You're not going to win. So you might as well use the psychology, right? Anytime I was caught, I never beefed with the officers. I kept my mouth shut and I was nothing but respectful. Yes, sir. No problem. You got it, right? This way I could get what I need. And you're going to need things. You're going to need something to drink. You're going to need something to eat. You're going to need a blanket when you're in the cell, when they put you in there, because you're going to be freezing. You're going to need a phone call to your family or your lawyer. Yeah, they'll eventually give you the phone call. Do you want the phone call when you get there, or do you want the phone call 6 hours later? Right? So if you're cursing out the officer, yo, F your mother, I don't care, right? He's going to take his sweet time. He'll give you things when he's ready to give it to you. But if you stay like a gentleman, yeah, no problem. This, that, and your officer, yo, it's freezing in this cell. You think I could get a blanket? Comes, he brings you the blanket. There you go. Thank you, sir. That's it. You're going to need a toothbrush. You're going to need toothpaste. You're going to need something to drink. Yo, officer, can I get a glass of water? You think he's going to bring you a glass of water if you're like, yo, you're a dick, da da da, this, that, F you, da da da. Yo, can I get a glass of water, please? Right? So you don't want to make the situation more uncomfortable for you than it already is. I'm not saying you're going to make it pleasurable, but you'll make it more comfortable if you just maintain self control. That's what I'm telling you. Maintain self control because you're going to go through a process one way or the other. Now they bring you to the police station. You get to the police station, and this is the booking process where they're going to book you and put you into jail. So as soon as you walk into the police station, they're going to bring you to a room. All right, they're going to take the handcuffs off of you. Usually, sometimes they leave you cuffed for a while, and they're going to put you in a bullpen. Right, and the bullpen is like a cell, a waiting cell. You might be in a cell by yourself. If it's a busy type of neighborhood, like you're in Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, there's going to be a lot of other people in the bullpen. They're all going to be stressed out. Just be quiet, be respectful. Don't start yelling at them. Yo, I want my effing phone call. Because all that's going to do is put you on the burn. And being put on the burn means you're going to wait for everything because you're acting like a complete jerk off, right? So just chill, right? And everything takes time now. Everything takes a lot of time. They don't just run to you to get you processed. They may put you in the bullpen. You're going to sit in there for a couple of hours as the officers are doing their thing, right? They're getting paid no matter what. They're doing their job, right? You're not going to win. You're not going anywhere, right? You're not going anywhere. That's what you have to understand. You've lost your rights. You've lost your power. Okay? You've been arrested. You are in jail now. You're in the police station. Right? You got to go through the booking process. Eventually they'll come get you. They'll take you out. They'll sit you down at the desk or bring you up to a counter. They're going to fingerprint you. That may take a couple of hours of you being stressed out, but just relax. But it's during those couple hours you're going to be starving too, because let's say you got arrested and you didn't eat yet, and you're real hungry now. You're getting irritable, and if you're causing a problem, they're not going to bring you anything. But if you just stay calm, officer, I'm starving. You think you could find a sandwich for me? He comes with a brown paper bag, garbage food. But you'll get a bologna sandwich, a cheese sandwich, something to drink, maybe a little pack of cookies in there. That's what they do, right? So at least you could put some food in your stomach because you're staying respectful. Then he takes you out. It's time to fingerprint you. He fingerprints you, right? Let's say you cause a problem. I'm not doing fingerprints. Forget the fin. Do you think you are going to avoid being fingerprinted? It's not going to happen. You will be fingerprinted one way or the other. So you might as well just do it, right? Just do it. Well, they take your fingerprints. After the fingerprints, they walk you over to a camera, take some mug shots from you, right? Then they're going to First thing they're going to do when they bring you in, I forgot to mention, is search you. They're going to pat you down, take your shirt off, check the soles of your sneakers, check your mouth behind your ears, make sure you don't have anything on you. They put you in the cell. They usually pat you down a few times before that. They pat you down when they arrest you and put the handcuffs on you. They pat you down before they put you in the police car. They pat you down when they take you out of the police car. They pat you down when you go into jail. You go through certain process to make sure you don't have anything. Now they take your fingerprints, they take your mugshot, they put you back in the cell for a little while. You may sit in there for another hour or two. You know what I mean? They're going to try and question you about the crime. They're going to try and get a statement from you. No statements. You just tell them, I want to call my attorney. That's it. I just want my phone call. You don't have to beef with them about it. Yo, I want my attorney. I would like to call my attorney. I'm not making any statement. They're going to try every trick under the sun to get you to talk. Listen, if you talk to us now, it's going to be better for you. If you tell us you're remorseful now, it's going to be better for you. If you tell, I have nothing to say. You just don't say anything. Let them go through their process, because this works one or two ways, right? If they've arrested you, then they have enough evidence. They feel they have enough evidence to arrest you. Don't give them more evidence by talking to them. Are you crazy? Right? And if they don't have the evidence, they're going to have to let you go. But if you talk to them, you're going to give them the evidence, right? So just keep your mouth quiet. As I said, I have another video, The Right to Remain Silent. You can check it out. I filmed it about 7-8 months ago. It's time for me to do an updated version to really put some more stuff in there that I wanted to put in. I'm going to do that soon. Another video on the right to remain silent, And for those of you that don't know, my grandfather was the police commissioner of New York. And my father was a lieutenant in the police department in New York. And they would be the first to tell you, don't ever speak to the police. Ever. Don't ever speak to them about anything, right? It's not you being anti-police. It's you being pro-Constitution and invoking your right. This is one of the most important things. It is the most important thing. The first thing the lawyer says when you get a lawyer is, did you talk to the police? Did you give them a statement? The only thing you're entitled to tell the police is your name and date of birth. My name is so-and-so. This is my date of birth. That's all I have to say. Again, can't stress it enough. So now you're going through the process. They fingerprinted you. They gave you the mugshot. You're in the bullpen. And let's say they're arresting you now. They then will sit you down with a medical department, with a nurse. And the nurse is going to ask you if you're on any medications, if you're suicidal, have you had any surgeries. They're going to go through a medical history with you, right? And they'll go through that whole process. After that, you're back into the bullpen to wait some more. You're going to eventually be entitled to your phone call, where they'll give you a phone call. And that's when you call your family or you call your attorney and you explain to them, I've been arrested. This is where I am. And they will be bringing me in front of a judge to be arraigned on the charges. And at that, you usually have to be arraigned within 24 to 48 hours. They can't hold you longer than that in the police station without arraigning you in front of a judge. Okay. And so you go before the judge for arraignment, and the judge will give you bail, usually give you bail at that arraignment. Not all the time. The judge could put you in jail and say, we'll do the bail hearing tomorrow or a few days later. But a lot of times bail is set right at the arraignment, and there are cases where the judge does not have to give you bail. If you're a flight risk, he doesn't have to give you bail. If he believes that you are a threat and danger to the community, if he has legitimate reasons, he can deny you bail. But everybody is entitled to bail. Under the U.S. Constitution, bail shall not be excessive or infringed upon. Everybody is entitled to bail. Even a person with a murder charge is entitled to bail. Okay? And when you get in front of the judge, you need to do the same thing. Be respectful, right? It goes a long way. I made a lot of progress standing in front of the judge. You don't have to give any information. You just have to be respectful. You're in a court. The court is powerful. The judge is powerful. The DA is powerful. You're standing in front of them. You say you're guilty of the crime that you committed, or even if you're not guilty. But if you're guilty, you just stand there. The judge says, "You understand why you're here today?" "Yes, sir." "Okay, here's your charges." Da 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 da. "Yes, sir." He says, and then your lawyer is arguing for you. He said, "If you can't afford an attorney, we'll appoint an attorney. You'll get a legal aid attorney. You'd like to have a private attorney, much better. But if you can't afford one, you'll have the legal aid attorney. Your legal aid attorney is going to argue for the bail. The judge sets the bail. If you can make the bail, your friends or family bails you out. All right. If they have to go to a bail bondsman, they could put a percentage down of the bail with the bail bondsman. Let's say the bail's 10,000, but you don't have 10,000. You can go to the bail bondsman, give him 1,000. The bail bondsman will put up the rest. There's ways to get out, right? But you stay respectful. I apologize, Your Honor, for being here. I'm embarrassed to be here. How do you plead not guilty? You always plead not guilty at your arraignment. Even if you're guilty and plead not, "I'm not guilty, Your Honor." So now you've given no statement to the police. You've pled not guilty in front of the judge. You could always change your plea later on, right? And now, let's say the judge says he's sending you to jail, right? So what happens after that arraignment is they will take custody of you. The Department of Corrections will take custody of you, and they will bring you to the jail. When you get to the jail, you're going to go through a lot of the same process that you went through at the police station, but a little different. And it's going to take a lot of time again. And remember, you're hungry, you're thirsty, right? If you smoke, you want a cigarette, whatever it is. So just stay respectful because you're going through the process whether you like it or not. More bees with honey than with vinegar. Cursing them out, yelling at them, screaming is not going to make them turn around and say, "Oh, we might as well let this guy go because he's yelling." Right? I've had officers just because I was respectful, just respectful, bring me food, McDonald's from the outside. I'm starving. I'm in the cell. I'm on my way to jail. "Yo, officer, could you do me a favor?" "Yeah, what's up?" "I'm starving, man. I've been going through this process all day. My stomach is on the gate, man. I'm hungry, man. You think you could find me something to eat?" I'd appreciate it. When you speak like that, next thing you know, the officer shows up, got a big bag of food. "Here, thank you very much." Boom, boom, boom. Nothing in return. Just being respectful goes a long way. But cursing them out, "Yo, listen, you think you could get me some toothpaste and toothbrush? I haven't brushed my teeth in 24 hours. I'm going through the police station and the jail, and I need soap, this, that." You need these little things, right? It'll make it more comfortable. So now you're going to jail. When you go into jail, they're taking all your personal clothes now. Everything gets taken away from you. It gets put in a brown paper bag and put in personal property. Your sneakers, your shoes, your socks, your underwear, you're going to be strip searched 100% naked. You're getting naked no matter what. They're going to tell you, lift up your hands, lift up your arms. Let me see under your arms. Let me see behind your ears. Open your mouth, run your fingers through your mouth. Lift up your genitals. Let me see under your genitals. Bend down and squat. Cough, 2, 3 times. Let me see the bottom of your feet. They're going to take off all jewelry. Earrings, you're not allowed to have. Any piercings, you're not allowed to have. They're going to take off any rings. You're allowed to keep a wedding band on if you're married. But the wedding band can have no protrusions. It can have no diamonds, no rubies, no emeralds, nothing that can cut anyone. Just a flat wedding band. If you have that, they'll let you keep your wedding band. Other than that, they take everything from you, and then you go through the whole process again. They're going to fingerprint you. They're going to take pictures of your tattoos. They're going to take mug shots of you, and then you'll sit down with the medical department again. And like I said, everything takes hours, hours, half a day sometimes. You could be going through this for 16 hours, right? And they will probably give you a phone call at the jail as well, just like you got one at the police station. You'll probably be entitled to one phone call inside of the jail after they do their process. They'll give you a bagged lunch. They'll fingerprint you, take your shots. They'll sit you down, and they're going to ask you a million questions coming into the jail. And when I say a million questions, it's going to go on for an hour. Name, date of birth, mother's maiden name, father's name, place of employment, medications, medical history, surgery history, educational history. They'll ask you a lot of questions. going into the jail, and just go through it, and hopefully you never have to go through it. But I'm just telling you the way it is. And you'll be moving around from area to area. They'll give you the prison clothes. You'll go to the what's called the state shop and the draft room. They'll give you the jail clothes. Jails, as you know, typical orange jumpsuit or gray jumpsuit. Some of them have white. Depends what state you're in. All states have different color clothes for the county jail. We're not talking about going into prison now. We're talking about going into jail. Prison is a different story, right? Jail is where you are fighting your case. You've just been arrested and you're going into jail. And then after going through this, what takes it from the time you're arrested to the time you get to jail can be anywhere from a day to 3-4 days. After they arrest you, you have to be arraigned, as I said, within 24 to 48 hours. Unless you get arrested on a Friday, you may not see the judge till Monday, right? So the whole process takes a few days. And now you end up in jail. You're there. You're in jail, stressed out, realizing the reality of the situation. And all I can tell you is try and chill out. Try and breathe. Try and meditate. Don't walk in there like some tough guy. That's a whole different video about how to carry yourself in jail. I have videos about that as well. Jail is a crazy place. I say that jail is crazier than prison because in jail you have people just coming off the street, right? In prison, they're settled already. In jail, they're just coming off the street. They're coming off of heroin. They're coming off of meth. They're coming off of crack. They're coming off of cocaine. They're withdrawing from alcohol. They're irritable. They were just arrested. They could be facing life in prison. In jail, there's murderers, rapists, robbers, and people who jaywalked, all mixed together, right? And they're stressed out because their life has just been turned upside down, and you're in there with them, right? And so you learn to read people and stay away from people and stay calm, make your phone call, deal with your lawyer. Don't talk to anyone. Don't tell any other people in jail, about your case. You just sit back and you're going to have to go through the process. Hopefully try and make bail and get out and fight your case from the street. You always have a better chance of beating your case when you fight it from the street. Doesn't mean you're going to beat it, but you got a better shot because you're showing, if you make it to the street on bail, at least you're showing the judge that you have some responsibility, that you're making your court dates, you're continuing to work, and you're continuing to live in society without being arrested again. That says a lot to the judge and the district attorney. But when you're sitting in jail and you don't make bail, that tells the judge that you don't have the ability to make bail. You don't have people with the ability or the money to help you or people that care about you to get you out, and you're sitting in jail. And I just think it looks a little worse when you're sitting in jail. It's better to get out and fight your case from the street, right? And so that's about it. I'm going to wrap this up. I just wanted to give you an idea of that whole process and what it's like. I hope you subscribe to the channel. There's plenty of videos about what it's like to be in prison, some of the stories I had to end up in prison. I'm going to be telling a lot more stories soon about the life I lived that led up to me being incarcerated. But I had a few comments from people asking me, well, what is the process like? But that's how you should behave through the process. Don't talk, remain silent, remain respectful. Just go through the process and it will be a lot easier on yourself. All right? I'm wrapping this up for now, guys. You take care and be well. I'll post another video soon, and that's a wrap. Peace.